energy forecast for January 2024. So on January 4th, we have Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger, moving out of Sagittarius energy, moving into Capricorn energy. Okay, so let's unpack. First of all, we're going to see this transit last until February 13th. So this is giving us pretty much about a month-ish in order to basically get our shit together, get our ducks in a row. Capricorn energy is a cardinal earth sign. Cardinal energies initiate new chapters, set goals, ambitions, really push us to jump into something new when the information, when the data, when the statistics of the present moment really enforce and encourage us to make a change in our path, in our direction. The earth energy, of course, is very focused on the here and now, our physical realms, physical bodies, physical aspects of the realm, the reality in which we've created. So Mars, first of all, he likes to act on impulse. He likes to kind of, catch a vibe, catch a vision, catch a dream, and take action upon it. We can't do that in Capricorn energy. And so for that reason, there is a little bit of frustration kind of under the surface of this whole transit, because the Capricorn energy means that we have to pump the brakes. Saturn rules over the Capricorn energy and kind of restricts us from taking action, from making moves, especially when on impulse. The Capricorn energy is very calculated, very deliberate. You have to keep in mind that Capricorn energy is represented by the sea goat, which means that perseverance, determination, that persistent type of energy needed in order for us to stay the course, that is what is taking over. So, yes, Mars in Capricorn, a little bit frustrated, little bit irritated because we can't go fast. That's Mars's issue. We got to kind of pump the brakes. We got to slow down just a tad. We are more in a situation where we are, and again, in January, it is a month of visualization, not a time for action. We are really needing to kind of take a time out, to pause, to consider what it is that we actually want to be working towards, our future. Even more than that, we have to take a time out and actually think about the consequences of our actions, something that Mars is not strong suited to do. That's where the Capricorn energy is kind of really digging in the heels, so to speak, and making Mars kind of take a time out, pump the brakes, stand in a present moment to think instead of act. So again, this is where a little bit of restlessness comes up in us because we just want to, figure it all out. We want to take action. We want to see some progress. We want to see some productivity. Capricorn energy is down with all that, but it has to be strategic, has to be calculated, has to be deliberate, has to be well thought out. We have to think about the consequences, think about the variables, think about the best way to go about getting from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. So where Mars rules over our physical energy, we are definitely learning a harsh lesson in energy management. Mars, typically speaking, goes balls to the walls and kind of uses up all that energy right at the beginning and then falls out and never really sees the ending goal, the ending vision of what it is that he set out to do. Which means that in Capricorn energy, we're pacing ourselves, which isn't the kind of pace that Mars would prefer. However, the Capricorn energy is thinking about, short-term sacrifices for the long-term goal. And we need to think about that goal, and we need to be very detailed in that goal, in that vision. So our energy is a lot more consistent. It's a lot more, I'm going to say, reliable. It's going to be there for us when the mind, body, soul equation kind of gets ticked off and we're able to engage the physical body to take action after we've done the visualization and infuse that visualization with the appropriate emotion. That's how you manifest. Capricorn energy is the great manifester of the zodiac. So we do have a lot of potential here to not only get the visual right, not only kind of trigger and activate the, let's call it domino effect of manifestation, but we kind of get a little bit of a reality check. Again, Saturn energy kicking in here. Saturn rules over Capricorn energy, gives us that reality check where we have to pace ourselves, where we have to slow our roll, where it is that we have to pump the brakes so that we are taking the actions that are going to be long lasting. We're not going to have to rewind and redo and re-strengthen. We are taking, although be it maybe a small baby step into the future, it's well thought out, it's well calculated, it's well supported. And so we are a little bit more reserved in this Capricorn energy than Mars would prefer to be. We have a lot more faith in the path, the plan, in our abilities. Now that kind of comes as an oxymoron because, of course, Capricorn energy, we tend to kind of dive into the negative, Nancy, Debbie Downer, pessimistic type of point of view. Not because we want to suck the, I'm going to call it excitement out of our visual, more so that we are preparing ourselves for the obstacles, for the blockages, for the challenges that we are going to face in trying to bring something new to life. So the good thing about this energy is that it takes a lot for us to reach that anger tantrum point. Again, Mars is kind of acting like the preschooler of the zodiac sometimes because we can go from 0 to 60, throw a tantrum, have just a downright blubbering mess, and then just recover like nothing happened. The Capricorn energy is far too mature for that, far too reserved for that kind of energy just to come bubbling out. And so we are kind of slow to anger. However, if we do get to that anger point, you better watch out. We are very cold, very rigid, very irritable, very frustrated in this Capricorn energy. And so if we hit that kind of quote unquote tantrum point, you best believe that you are going to lash out, probably hurt a lot of people around you with your overwhelming, undirected frustration. So we want to avoid that at all possible if we can, of course, but just know that the buildup, again, Capricorn energy, been around for a very long time towards the end of the zodiac wheel. We aren't as triggered and activated by the smaller things, but you best believe that if something is just irritating us to the core, we have no problem kind of lashing out, calling it as it is, telling people where to go and how to get there, and of course, doing what we got to do in order to progress the particular path planning of our futuristic goals. So, of course, in true Capricorn fashion, there is a lot of sarcasm, there's a lot of skepticism. We are not really so much willing to kind of move into that emotional realm. We're not even really willing to move into that dreamy type of realm that we were very much in with Sag energy because we're realistic in Capricorn energy. And that's why Capricorn energy comes after Sagittarius energy, because we just bite off way more than we can chew in Sag energy. We just take it to the furthest boundaries. We just just dream the biggest dream possible. And it's not achievable. It's not even obtainable. It's just a nice whimsical, version that we would like to be living. When we move into the Capricorn energy, we come back down to earth. We take a more realistic approach to some of these inspirations, some of these motivations, some of these dreams and visions that we've conjured up in Sagittarius energy. We give it a framework. We give it a structure. We build a foundation on how it is that we're going to get from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. And again, we have to consider the fact that January is a month of visualization. Visualization on what it is that you do want to create, what you do want to bring to life, what you do want to initiate, but we're not taking as many, I'm going to say, powerful action placements to go after those things as we are having to really refine in our brain space, in our mental plane, what that's going to look like. So after we've thought it through very carefully, very thoroughly, after we are very precise with our actions, with the plan, with the strategy, we can see some very serious progress be made, but it is going to be very low and slow. And of course, it has to follow a certain structure, certain methodical system. We're very orderly in this Capricorn energy because we have to realize that anything worth fighting for is going to take a long time to actually get there. Fast and quick, the easy way, that is so behind us. We are not there anymore. We have to have discipline. We have to have maturity. We have to show the universe and ourselves that we're willing to stick it out even through the hard parts in order to have this visualization actually manifest. So, planning is the name of the game here. We are definitely focused on what it is that we want to build, what we want to create, especially long-term-ish. more than just 6 months, more than just this year. Long-term structures, foundations that are going to support us in the long term and give us the return on investment that we're currently pouring into trying to get this new aspect, this new element off the ground, so to speak. We're trying to bring it into form. So our ambitions are the name of the game. Our goals are the name of the game. And we just have to have a little bit of patience, which most of us were not born with, in order to actually do it right. Starting with the plan, starting with the visualization, engaging the mind, body, soul equation. And if given the opportunity, when all the boxes are checked, we can go ahead, we can execute an action to progress us on this path moving forward. So, of course, the whole vibe here is that we don't like to waste time. We don't like to waste energy. We certainly are not wasting money at this point. We are not doing anything half-assed. We are not doing anything that doesn't make sense for our long-term goals, and we are not acting on impulse. So this is going to help us get very clear with what it is that we want to build, what we want to create, what we want to bring to life. We are being challenged in 2024, the year of 8, in order to kind of integrate the higher self with the egoic self, the materialistic self. We have to walk the walk, talk the talk, and we have to kind of merge those two parts of self together so that we can activate the creator energy. This is going to help us get very clear on what it is that we want, need, and desire, especially after we get past the new moon in Capricorn taking place on the 11th. Listen to the January energy forecast if you haven't already. Download your January zodiac forecast if you haven't already. There's a Capricorn season e-guide for your, I'm going to call it support and assistance. Try and get your mind right. Try to get the visual right. All kinds of resources out there for you. Please don't sleep on yourself. This is not the year to do it. So what we have to consider is that there is a shadow part, a shadow side of all these different transits. And one of the harder aspects that we're going to have to kind of learn in the process of all of these things is we kind of need to realize where it is that we're a little bit obsessed with power and control. We feel like we have to have everything happening just so. Now that's great because of course the Capricorn energy wants us to step up into our power, wants us to have control over our lives, over our actions, over our mental plane, over our emotions, wants to control the process, getting from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. But the problem with that is that we are so much in our egoic programming, thinking that we actually have control over our lives. It is a psyop, technically, that we're putting on ourselves. We do have to open our mind, our heart space up to the possibilities of miracles, of magic, of the universe knowing the greater, grander plan far long before we're ever going to see it. We have to be open to change. We have to be open to detours, which isn't going to go so well with Mars in this Capricorn energy. So when you feel like you have a very specific plan, which you should have with Mars in this Capricorn energy, please don't feel derailed or defeated when something pops off and suddenly your plans go to shit and you have to open up your mind and open up your heart space to understand where it is that things aren't happening to you, that they're actually happening for you. And even though it does throw a wrench into your plans, you have to be open to seeing where it is that the path in which you thought you'd be walking may not be the quickest, the fastest, the most efficient, where you have to be open to the possibilities that, again, your higher self, that the universe, that the greater, grander plan knows a better path for you than you in your egoic self know for yourself. And so this is, again, are we going to throw a tantrum? Are we going to get frustrated? Are we just going to feel defeated? Or are we going to step back, act as the observer and say, you know what? Okay, not sure what this means for me. Not sure if this is going to fast forward my plans or not, but let me be open to seeing where it is that the universe is sending me hints and clues that maybe the plan that I came up with isn't the best plan. Okay, it's going to be very hard to do because we're really, we feel, again, Capricorn energy, we're the general foreman. We feel like the plans that we have are the best plans. We've thought it out, we've strategized it. And how dare the universe or our higher selves throw a wrench into our plans and show us where it is that we could be doing things differently. It's almost like, ooh, the audacity, right? But again, things aren't happening to you they're happening for you. So the minute that you can get in that observer type of mentality and understand that, you're not going to throw tantrums. You're not going to feel defeated or disappointed when your plans aren't going as you were hoping that they would go. And again, opening up your mind, your heart space to different possibilities. We just want to understand that the shadow part of the Capricorn energy can be very cold. Again, there's not a whole lot of room for emotion. We're more business minded, business focused. And again, there's no crying in business, so they say. We want to just consider the fact that Negative Nancy and Debbie Downer, they are looking to control us in this Capricorn energy. And we definitely don't want to do that. We don't want to find ourselves in a negative, pessimistic, mental plane mood or attitude, because again, Capricorn energy is the great manifester of the zodiac. So whatever it is that you're allowing to take up the time, the energy, the attention in your mental plane and triggering an emotion in order to back that up, that's what you're going to be manifesting. So if you let Negative Nancy and Debbie Downer kind of lead you into this particular transit, then that's not going to bode so well for you in the later months of 2024. So we really want to be disciplined in our mental plane, in our focus, in our attention, and in our emotion.